Hey everyone, welcome to week 6. This week we've got 2 assignments and a discussion post, and that's it. So it's a new topic, so we're going to look at something new. They're going to start with counting in a different language, so that ought to be pretty fun. So if you open assignment 10, looks like this, and you'll see some translations. And so what you want to start with is looking through this table and just take some time, see if there's any structure to this numerical system and any patterns you might see. Is it possible to identify some of the words and what they mean just by looking at this translation? So there's nothing to write there. Once you're feeling a little bit comfortable with it, see if you can answer some of these questions below. So, what does the word abo mean? Does it have any significance in this table? What could that possibly be translated to, etc. It's pretty self-explanatory as you go through. If you have any questions, let me know. What we're getting at here with this introduction is looking at our number system, and our number system is called base 10. And it's called that because it's based on groups of 10, right? So if you think about the number 35, for example, that 3 has a positional value, right? That 3 actually represents 3 groups of 10, right? And then the 5s are 1s. Okay, so in our numerical system, we have place value, and the position of the number has a significance, and that's in some sort of groups of 10 or powers of 10, right? Maybe the next number will be at the hundreds place, which is 10 squared. So everything's based off of 10, okay? So look at this system here that we're not familiar with. Does it look like base 10, or is it something else? See if you can think of maybe what kind of base they are using. And then there's some more translations, and now you might be able to piece together, can you translate those numbers? So these, you're just going to write out the words, right? 27, what do you think that would be? Like 24 is Tandor Abo Mer. What do you think 27 would be? All right, so it might be kind of a fun little puzzle to try. Okay. Next, assignment 11 is more of the same. Now we're just looking at experimenting with different bases. Okay, so here's more in-depth look at base 10. Consider a number like 234 in a base 10 system. Try to explain what those numbers mean, right? And explain it to somebody that maybe has never used a base 10 system before, right? Somebody that's not familiar with it, how would you explain it? So don't explain it to me that knows a base 10 system. Explain it to somebody that has never seen a base 10 system before. Clear explanations is what I'm looking for. I know you know what the number means. I'm looking for explaining it, okay? And then now let's mix things up a bit and look at some different bases. So we'll just look at a base 6 system. Now, it's set up just like a base 10 system, except for in a base 10 system, you have 10 digits, right? Or 10 symbols or 10 numerals. So in a base 6 system, you only have 6. So instead of using numbers for this one, let's just use some symbols. So this is a system that uses these 6 symbols to represent this number of objects, right? So a smiley face is 5 objects. And then the same sort of place value system would be used, right, for a base 6 system that's similar to base 10, except for you're in groups of 6, right? So for example, I can look at this number 3 here. We have that as our number, right? So the clover represents 1 and the heart represents 4, okay? In base 6, that's this many objects, right? Because if you think about base 6, okay, the first value here, that's 1's place. But now the next value, that's not a tens place, right? It's a sixes place. So this is how many groups of 6 you have. So that represents 6, and this represents 4, right? So you have a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 4 left over. So that's what I'm looking for with the explanation about that. And then there's some others as well. Okay, so it's a little crazy because you don't have any numbers. You just have these new symbols that you've never seen before. Let's see if you can piece that together and write some explanations, and then do some math in base 6. Okay, so for example, number 6, write the number of objects using our base 6 system. Okay, so what I would do to start that one, do you have any groups of 6 here? Right, because if you have a group of 6, you'll use the next place value over, like the 6's place, right? And I do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have one group of 6 and 1 left over. So use your symbol chart, what represents ones, right? And use that value. You have to draw it or use those symbols. Okay, and it can, there's a few of those. And then finally, you're going to get to doing some adding. And if you're doing some adding, my hint here is maybe draw the pictures of the number of objects, right? What does that represent? What does that represent? And then sum them together, but then you have to write that number using a base 6 system. Okay, and then try a few more additions. So there's a little more on that one. And try them out. And then if you get stuck, yeah, feel free to reach out and I can give you some guidance. Or if you're not sure if your answer's right, if you're not on the right track, you don't know, feel free to send me an email. And I can let you know if you're on the right track or give you a hint here and there. No problem. Okay. Otherwise, the last thing is this little discussion. So let's close those down. There's a brief history of numerical systems. It wouldn't be a bad idea to start with that. Look at that little 5-minute video that in a way introduces what we're talking about in this week. And then that's what you're going to be discussing this week. Just any thoughts, anything you liked or disliked about that video, anything new that you learned, jump in the discussion and post it. And then don't forget to respond to 2 other classmates or more. You can always do more. Okay, that's it for this week. I hope you have a good week, and I will be talking to you later. Thanks. Bye.